everyone, it's Jay from Fluent in 1 year, and today I'll be speaking just a bit for 2 or 3 minutes tops on formal Spanish versus informal Spanish. Now, this is important because it's very pronounced in difference the way you speak Spanish to an elderly person or someone you respect very much versus your friends and colleagues or even your family members. You see, what happened is that when we're speaking English, it's really easy for us to show respect to someone in our tone of voice. We don't talk very demanding. We speak in a way that's we refer to as subservient in some senses. We're not very loud, and in a way, we're asking for permission from the next person. Not necessarily that we're asking them straightforward to help us, but in the way we speak, we're asking them to accept us instead of pronouncing ourselves on them or putting ourselves out forward. And you can see this, for example, when you're talking to your boss versus to when you're talking to your child or your younger brother or sister. If you're talking to your boss and you want a plate, you would say to your boss, "Boss, could I get this plate, please?" And that would show respect. And if you're talking to your child, even if you're showing respect, you would be a bit more stern with your voice and you'd say, "Son, can I have this plate?" You might not say please, or you might say please, but the tone of voice would imply some level of dominance over the next. Well, when we're speaking Spanish, it's very important to know that you use the formal form when you're speaking to someone, that when you're speaking to that person in English, you would address as sir, ma'am, Mr. or Mrs., or you would add some sort of title to show respect. And it's not necessarily that you would add the title when speaking Spanish. You can do that. But one way that you can see the formal Spanish coming out is the way you conjugate your verbs. There are different verb forms for different situations. Depends on the time the verb is taking place, who the verb affects, and so on. We'll go into this once we start verbs. So you're speaking formal Spanish. The form that you would use is the usted form, or it would be abbreviated a capital U and a small d. And I won't go too much into this because I really want to focus on just one small topic right now. But when you're using the usted form, then that in itself, by just using that, it shows that you respect who you're speaking to. And then the informal would be the to form, or it's not necessarily easy to say right now because as you would get to know is that some verbs don't always conjugate and add an as. For example, hablas, you speak. It's actually a bit more technical than that, but in general it's called the to form versus the usted form or the ud form. So that's all for now. I'd like to thank you for watching, and please keep tuned for more. I have more stuff coming your way. Thanks again. I appreciate your work.